People will say, why didn't someone do this before? The way I came up with the idea, I was driving home from work, listening to the radio, and I heard an ad for a product and I wanted to buy it. Stuck in traffic, I thought, oh, well, I'll remember. 2 phone calls, 15 minutes later, totally forgot what it was.
Yeah.
That business just lost the sale purely because I couldn't connect. And Shazam was doing it with music, and I thought, why can't we do it with everything? There's approximately 76 billion TV ads viewed daily in India.
Yeah.
It's a different story now. They're getting smashed by
Social media.
and big tech.
I was trying to sell the social media, but then I showed them with my content. I had the viewers, I had the consumers convert from an Instagram reel. TV can't do that.
We're so focused on these short clips. That works for some people, but there are some people that want to dig deeper.
It's going to add up into the authenticity of the news.
Yeah, people will start to think again.
India definitely needs something like this. More authenticity to its news.
Don't get me started on what's happening in the US.
You know how Shazam can recognize music in seconds? Now imagine that for ads and information on big screens. Hi, I'm Apoorv and welcome to the Disruptors Project. This is where we sit down with people who are not just doing things differently. They are changing how things are done altogether. And today's guest has built something that made me stop the first time I saw it. And if you're building something in this space or just curious about content and commerce and where this is all heading, this one is for you. Let's get into it. Hello everyone. This is the first official podcast and first episode of the Disruptors Project. And we have Mr. Roland Storti over here as the first ever guest onto this podcast with us. He's the founder and CEO of MINFO. We will talk about what MINFO is and how MINFO is going to disrupt the media and advertising industry and how it's going to enable more and more brands to be more efficient in order to reach out to their consumers, not just for awareness, but for conversions, and that too at the same time. By the way, this video in itself is going to be MINFO enabled. You can check out the description link, and I encourage you to check out in the description to download the app. And this makes it the very first one of its kind of podcast which is interactive because it's MINFO enabled. What brings you to India? Why India?
Well, India's always been interesting for me. I see the population, the growth. We have a large Indian community in Australia and now I'm living in the UK. And then more and more research found that India is really sort of focused on YouTube.
Yeah.
And is one of the leading countries. More than double the second highest
in terms
country.
of consumption?
In terms of viewing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because of the population?
And population and just the number of celebrities that are now popping up and influencers that are seeing YouTube as a new market, new opportunity.
Lovely. No, even recently we were pitching YouTube as a service to one of our clients. We did our own research and we found out some amazing numbers in terms of even regional consumption on YouTube. There are a few states that are like overpowering as compared to the pan-Indian consumption. There are few states in India that are like YouTube heavy as compared to Meta or any other platform. Just YouTube heavy. And it's insane. The numbers were really, I'm not able to recall the numbers exactly, but the numbers were insane. That gave us inspiration. Oh man, we should really not take YouTube for granted.
Well, I think last time I checked, it was 460 odd million YouTube viewers in India, which is huge. And for us, the announcement last month by the Google CEO saying that TV viewing of YouTube videos has now surpassed mobile viewing is really important for what we're trying to bring to the market.
That's very interesting. But there is a contrasting perception as well to this, as getting distracted with mobile consumption. While people are watching TV, they're still scrolling onto their phones. What do you think where the future of TV consumption is heading to? Do you think it's going to get reduced, or we're going to have vertical TVs in future?
No, look, I think TV's definitely here to stay. It's what we're consuming on TV that's changing. We're going from linear to OTT, and now even YouTube viewing is 10% of all TV viewing. So it's what we're consuming on the big screen. The big screen's here to stay for most people, and that we got used to viewing things on a big screen during COVID. People were locked down. Why view something on a small device, small form factor when you can have a much bigger experience? And the 4K and 8K, it's only going to get more visually appealing for people to be viewing on a large screen.
I think that's why the hype of Apple Vision Pro, because after COVID, the consumption of interacting with the bigger screen increased. That's when they thought of launching Vision Pro as well, but that didn't sustain in the market. They had to. I think they have stopped the production as well of this.
Doesn't surprise me. I'm not a big Apple user, so it's the first time I've even heard of Apple Vision Pro.
Okay. So why I mentioned that is because that's interactive. You can touch it. It's interactive in those terms. And whether it's TV, whether it's your phone, whether it's anything, it's an interface in itself, which is interactive, like touchable.
Yeah, look, I'm a bit old school. And I think what we're looking at introducing is something that people will say, why didn't someone do this before? It's one of those things. And the way I came up with the idea, I was driving home from work, listening to the radio, and I heard an ad for a product, and I wanted to buy it. Stuck in traffic, I thought, oh, well, I'll remember. 2 phone calls, more traffic, 15 minutes later, totally forgot what it was.
Yeah.
My first thought was, damn, I'm getting old. I can't remember something from 15 minutes ago. But then I thought that business just lost a sale.
Yeah.
Purely because I couldn't connect. And Shazam was doing it with music, and I thought, why can't we do it with everything? So, more and more research, these things are happening to everyone, well, lots of people around the world, and there's lots of missed opportunities, and brands are looking for new ways to engage with their audience, and this is just a natural progression.
Okay, so that incident led you to build Shazam for information and ads.
Well, MINFO. Shazam.
It's called MINFO. Yeah.
Okay. Why couldn't Shazam do it?
They were doing it, but they were doing it using their existing tech. And it was fantastic for music, but not suited to ads because brands want attribution across different platforms that they're broadcasting on. So Shazam, because they use signature matching, it would just match the song and connect you. The brand wouldn't be able to tell exactly which channel that was playing on if the ad was playing on multiple channels at the same time. And there are a few other issues. It would take 10 to 15 business days to create the landing page. We have a self-serve approach where your client can create the landing page within about 15 minutes without any coding. And they can upload and create multiple versions of that ad to give to the different producers or broadcasters. So the AudioQR codes are unique, and they get a dashboard and can see exactly who's connecting with what ads on what networks.
If I take YouTube or a Meta dashboard, for example, yes, we are able to see how many people are interacting with my ad, how many people are viewing the ad, to what duration, and they are dropping off at what duration. I have the numbers. I have the percentage. What you are saying is I'll have the exact profiles of viewers, exact profiles of people so that, create a database of what kind of people are engaging.
Depending on the permissions that people provide.
Yeah.
And India's going through some new regulations, and it's all going to be sort of opt-in approach. And, we're very conscious of complying with GDPR. The consumer, the people come first for us. It's really important that what we're doing is transparent. There's no artificial incentivizing people to engage with ads if they're not interested, because that just causes brands to be paying more. Already an online ad fraud in some cases is as high as 30%, which is just crazy. And brands are paying for that, and consumers are ultimately paying for that.
Okay, let's look at, just to simplify it, how can a brand benefit from MINFO?
With what we're implementing, it allows them to have a seamless way for consumers to connect with their brand, as well as then having the calls to action that they want. So we're transforming a passive dumb ad, sorry to use that expression, but to a
We'll come to that.
to a smart interactive ad. So it's going from awareness to response, and that's really critical for brands to be able to calculate their return on ad spend and put their money where their ad's working the best. And it's going to be different for different brands. What medium works best for them.
I mean, I can see it's going to be disruptive in so many senses. I mean, typically in advertising, there are funnels, right? The top of the funnel, which is like awareness, when brands want to just know people that we exist. Now, then comes the consideration part. Like, these many people are using this product, so you should also consider using it. Then the next, that is the bottom of the funnel, that comes, conversion. Now, I really want you to use, just basket it, because we're providing this good offer, this good discount and everything. Now, what you're saying is, with an ad campaign is MINFO enabled, from your top of the funnel awareness, you can have conversions.
Yep.
Yeah?
And awareness.
Yeah.
Because
both.
The brand provides those call to actions, which could be more information about the product. We're widening the funnel. And we sort of talked about it earlier, but there's approximately 76 billion TV ads viewed daily in India. Unless they've got an ugly QR code on them, they're all passive. So that's a huge increase of the funnel.
Yeah. Especially with TV ads, yeah. Even for YouTube, for that matter, it's still semi-interactive because you have the description, you can go at there. But for TV, it's 100% passive.
Yeah.
Right? And a few months ago, I was having a conversation with the CMO and marketing head of a very big coffee retail brand. And they come from old traditional media of advertising. They have always believed in the TV advertising because that's what they're comfortable with. I was trying to sell the social media to them, and they were not able to see the value in it. But then I showed them that with my content, I had the viewers, I had the consumers convert from an Instagram reel. I was able to show them that number, and that was pretty impressive for them. TV can't do that. As of now,
Not yet.
not yet. So how can MINFO enable to do that?
Once we get that initial traction and people are watching, are going to say, how are they going to get people to download the app? That's a challenge. We have a laser focus on YouTube influencers because, currently when they say, hey, click on my link below to connect or get more information or buy, that's fine when they're watching on a mobile, but when they're watching on the big screen, they can't do that. There is an education piece that influence will assist because we're a tool to help them get more engagement, get more sales, and have more insights. So that will flow on into the TV space. Brands will be able to see how many people are engaging with their ad, at what point within the ad are they engaging, and that's a new metric. Even in YouTube, we can on Android devices, we can actually tell what point people are engaging, which is helpful to understand what's on screen. Did someone offer a special? What works best to get people to connect? And having that information is gold for brands. They've never had that before on TV.
So they can have a better track at a consumer's journey from the awareness funnel to the conversion funnel.
Totally transparent. Some advertisers might not like that accountability, but brands that are spending the money are going to want that.
A lot of people are saying in the market that TV advertising is a dying sheep because everyone is on the phones. And if it's not a Super Bowl as in America or IPL spot in India, brands are not very interested anymore in spending so much money for the spot in a TV ad. Do you think something like MINFO can revive TV advertising?
Yeah, well, at the moment in this digital world, TV's fighting with one hand behind their back. You know, it's analog, it's not interactive, and there's no measurement. We're leveling the playing field with MINFO to enable brands to actually have seamless engagement with their consumers and have accurate measurement. So it's going to be an interesting sort of paradigm. And 10 years ago, TV thought, we're untouchable.
Yeah.
It's a different story now. They're getting smashed by
Social media
and big tech. Yeah.
Okay. How it's gonna be integrated in media in any way? News media?
Yeah. Look, I named it MINFO, being short for more information.
Yeah.
And that works just as well with news media as it does with advertising. We're so focused on these short clips, and that works well for some people, probably the majority, but there are some people that want to dig deeper and get more information. So this will be an opportunity for them to find out more about that story, or open up attachments and links to other videos that substantiate that news story. And the world's full of misinformation at the moment, which is also a challenge. But by providing content that supports that story, rather than other content that has no support,
it's going to add up into the authenticity of the news.
Yeah, and hopefully people will start to think again.
India definitely needs something like that. More authenticity to its news.
It's a global issue. Don't get me started on what's happening in the US.
This spot is not for that, but yeah, I mean, pretty good. I mean,
So for something like that to happen,
a news media house has to be MINFO enabled.
Yeah, and it's pretty simple. Any client can upload their video content, then create the landing page, and depending on how many broadcasters are playing that content, they just create one or many versions of that, and each of them has a unique audio QR code. And whenever people are watching and connecting, the system knows where they're connecting from.
Okay, so I'm just going to interrupt you there. What do you mean by audio QR code? Like, what do I visualize when I hear audio QR?
Yeah, it's hard when you're creating something new for people to visualize. Like Shazam works like magic as far as people are concerned, but and we can say it's like Shazam, but still hard to conceptualize. And so many people became used to using QR codes during COVID. In India, UPI, there's QR codes everywhere. So visual QR codes, people understand. Not many people know what the QR stands for. Do you? Just out of curiosity? Put you on the spot?
No.
Quick response.
Okay, that was
there.
just there.
Audio QR is audio quick response. So that actually uses an inaudible sound that we can embed in media. Only the phone can hear that sound. The app's not listening to conversation. It's just listening for that audio QR code.
And that too when you permit, when you allow it to.
Yeah. It's a pull, not a push. So we're very focused on you're in control. When you want to get more information, you open the app and you can get more information. We don't want a situation where it's pushing out to people.
So no push notifications.
We have looked at push notifications when you've connected with the brand. If they want to send you a push notification, you approve that, you can receive, but it's all opt-in.
Okay, is it going to be a commercial platform for the brands to advertise themselves as well?
Definitely, yeah. In certain situations, depending on sort of dead time, like when it's taking that 3 seconds to connect, we can sort of put a skin on it that's a particular brand wants. But we're sort of tossing up whether that's going to be something that consumers going to be okay with, or will get pushback. So all of these things, there's a few areas that we need to test and just get feedback.
Is the data gets saved in the history as well? For example, I got redirected from using the interaction to a platform which is, and I bought something as well. From next time onwards, is that brand going to push me to buy more stuff from them?
Only if you opt in to receive any push notification.
They can advertise themselves over the on the platform.
There will be limited opportunities. We prefer a pull approach and being a connector. Unlike the other tech platforms where they want to keep you on the app, we're a pass-through. We want to connect you to the information that you're looking for, or the ad or the brand that you're looking for.
What's in it for consumers? Why would one take the hassle of downloading the app and use it? Especially in India, when it is perceived that scaling an app, getting people download it and use it, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Because in US and other states and other countries, people are very habituated to do so. But in India, it's a little difficult. It's perceived to be a little difficult.
It's interesting. We've seen stats that highlight India as a very low cost per install location and a very high engagement, which is contrary to what I've been hearing from Indians.
Yes. I mean, yeah, that's what I've been hearing also. The scaling an app in India is tough.
Yeah.
That's a common statement that people use often.
Well, our USP is that, most of these apps are one use. It's a banking app, it's a retail app, but it's one retailer. We're positioning MINFO as a universal app that you can use with multiple brands, on YouTube, on TV, radio, cinema, digital signboards. So there in itself is a point of difference from the average app. And, we're starting with YouTubers because they have a relationship with their fans. And some of these fans idolize these YouTube influencers and creators. So if they say, hey, we're using this new app, you can connect with us even if you're watching on TV. And if you download the app, you can win a 10-minute one-on-one video call with me. That's going to be an incentive that's going to start the ball rolling. And if you get that happening through multiple YouTube influencers, then we're helping brands sell more product. They get more appetite and more interest, and they can run promotions, giving away whatever they're selling as prizes if people download the app.
Okay. And an influencer gets benefit from both the ends, from the brand as well as the audience.
Yeah, because potentially they're getting more sales by using MINFO. They're creating a point of difference to other influencers that aren't, and we're unlocking that TV audience. It might not be as high as 50% in India, but we've looked at a few YouTubers and it sort of ranges between the 10 and 25%. So that's still a lot of users, viewers, if you can connect with them, because also, YouTube loves longer viewing time, and TV is 2 to 5 times longer viewing than if someone's watching on a mobile and getting distracted. So then those videos are amplified by the algorithm and pushed to more people. So it's like a compounding effect.
I'm interested to know how you can make OTTs interactive. OTT platforms. For example, I'm watching something on Netflix. How MINFO can make it interactive.
It's exactly the same process
as TV.
As TV. It's any content can be uploaded, the AudioQR code's added to the video file, and then wherever that's played, there's engagement opportunities. So it could be more information, it could be book a holiday to go to that location. And the producer in that case is getting additional revenue.
For example, if any of the OTT platform, the content is brand sponsored, subtly brand sponsored over there. And if it's MINFO enabled as well, it can get me redirected to give me options to buy from it.
Yeah. Any call to action that the brand wants to include, can be accessed, and the brands can actually change calls to action in real time. If they're doing a top and tail ad and they're finding that something's not working in the first one, well, they can change it in between, and instantly when people connect on the tail ad, they're seeing a different view.
Something like that is going to be disruptive, especially if it revives the TV advertising or OTT advertising. It'll be amazing. It'll be really amazing. Yeah, because what we are seeing also, the brands are moving towards subtle branding, subtle advertising. That's where they are getting into IPs, content IPs as well. And that's where they're making YouTube as a source for it as well, where there's a fictional narrative going on. It could be sponsored by the brand, where there's subtle integration of the brand. If we can get a window to have the product integrated somehow, and if it's MINFO enabled as well, it makes it like completes a circle, completes a loop.
Yeah, there's been really interesting sort of things done with some K-drama TV, and I think it was 2013. There was one episode where a woman was using a particular lipstick, and they just sold out that lipstick, similar lipstick. It wasn't the actual one. It wasn't a proper branded exercise, but throughout the country, any lipstick that looked like that was sold out, and there were ridiculous prices on eBay.
So where were the people buying it from directly? On the website, eBay, or
wherever they could?
Because the character became popular.
Yeah. And, some of the K-dramas have gone overboard with product placement to the extent, you've got fast food chains in the background constantly, people slowly eating things with the wrapper, and I think they've gone too far one way. So I think what you mentioned, it needs to be subtle.
It needs to be subtle, because people these days can smell salesy stuff from a distance.
Yeah.
They don't want to associate with that. That's where brands are also finding a spot into the fictional narratives to have a subtle, very subtle integration, which could be emotional value added to it, or just value added, or just an emotion added. That's where I believe the advertising has to be or is heading to.
Yeah, you were mentioning before about IPs, and I was curious, with the different strategies that you've sort of put in place.
Yeah, currently I'm actually obsessed with it, and it just increases the chance of more distribution. If you can have more IPs, you can have more different identities of content under those IPs, and then if you just be honest with the content, with the storytelling, then you can have brands also do the sponsorship, or you can have brands do the subtle integration. It gives a marketplace to the brands as well. You're getting to the storytelling, you're getting to associate with an audience, a loyal audience who is there for the story, and the salesy smell is also not there. So it's good for everyone.
I totally agree. Authenticity is what it's all about, and there's always going to be a balance.
Yes.
And some people will push the envelope, and even shows like Stranger Things, they had retro sort of clothes that just sold out. Straight away when people saw it. So there's plenty of opportunities and lots of unknowns. It's up to people like us to disrupt things and give people those tools to do things differently.
Yeah. Talking about disruption. So this could be, I think, the first episode ever of our new platform, the Disruptors Project.
Well, I feel very honored to be a part of your very first episode, and this will be MINFO enabled, and
Yes.
You'll be able to get more information on what we're doing separately and collectively, And this is the beginning of a new era of content engagement. Hi, my name's Roland Storti, and I encourage you to subscribe to the Disruptors Project channel and keep up to date with what's new in media and content.